Hi, everybody. I met everybody on the internet, Facebook, yesterday and the day before in regards to my minis little video that I had done. These. So today, what I decided, and everybody asked me to tell you how I put them together. This is the first YouTube or first video I'm ever making, so please bear with me if I get a little nervous and there's no editing because I don't know how to do that yet. Okay, so we're going to do the ballerina one, I think this is, that I had uploaded all the files. And if you didn't get the file, just let me know and message me and I will get that to you as soon as possible. So I just wanted to show you how I assemble them because that was the biggest question on everybody's mind. So what I did was I cut out my pieces already for a new one. And this is all of them. And still on my mat, even though I use a silhouette, I use a Cricut mat. I do trim off the side to make it the same exact size as the silhouette mat. So if somebody wants to know that part, just give me a message on Facebook and I will tell you. Okay, let's start. So I cut out all the pieces and they're a mess. It looks like a puzzle. You could do, print. You could print your pieces and put them together. I choose not to. Just as some other people left messages saying the difference between cutting actual pieces of paper and that are designed or texturized versus doing a print and cut for each piece. If you do a print and cut for it, it kind of gives it a flat effect. When you use printed paper or pattern paper or textured paper, it brings it to life almost. It gives it more, I don't know, oomph. I don't know how to explain it, but once you do it and you see it, you'll see the difference and you'll want to do it with colored paper instead of doing it with print and cut. Okay, so to assemble the 18-inch or 19-inch or 20-inch piece or however big you're going to make it, I think the one that, let me measure her right now without the base. I think she's probably about 19 inches. So from toe to bow, she's 18.5 inches. Now, everybody, oh, I only have a 12-inch mat. So what I do is I actually cut her in here. Now, you can't see it because there's other paper over it. So it kind of works out great. And, I mean, there's little piece. Actually, excuse me, I cut her right here. I didn't even see the cut line that I had done. But right here she did it. I cut her. I don't know if it's going to focus in right here. Can you see that? What? You just saw it. See the line? Okay. So let me put her back together and put her off to the side. All right. So here we go. I got her, and she is cut right here. And this is the bottom piece, and it looks funny because it's just her legs. So the way the piece goes is this way, and then this goes here. Now, I do have the other one cut out because Minnie is double-sided. So this side and that side. So you have to mirror the image in your program and cut twice. So, for instance, the file that I had sent you, I already broke everything up for you and duplicated it. But there's also another figure for you to make it any size you want also. So it's grouped together. So my suggestion is to always make sure that you have both sides, the mirror images, is you take that one grouped, duplicate it, and then do a rotation horizontally. So you'll have two facing each other or being back to back. Okay, and then you ungroup and put all your pieces together. So right here, I can't pick these pieces up. And try to keep your pieces separate. Do not mix up your pieces because then it really becomes confusing. So always have your one side in one pile and the other side in another pile. Also in your file, you're going to wind up with little pieces of paper like this. Okay? And I will show you what we're going to do with these in a minute. They're very simple. So what I want to do is I want to put her together. I'm going to put both of them together at the same time. So this way they're put together, and I could always put the pieces on it and then glue it as I go. So this way it doesn't get confusing. So I have this piece that's going to go here, and then this piece, I hope everybody could see this, is going to go here. And you can see that they're mirrored. They're both facing in. So with these little pieces, what I do is I take my glue gun, my Scotch Guard tape gun, and it's 1/4 of an inch. The tape on here is 1/4 of an inch. So I just put a little tape on there. And it doesn't matter if it's messy or if it slips off the side because this is going to be hidden. So I lay it flat. I butt this only halfway up. And I make sure that I press it, but good. Because this is going to hold your two pieces together for the time being. And then you butt the two pieces together. And sometimes when the silhouette cuts it, it sometimes has a space. So you might find that the pieces don't match up exactly. So what I do is I go in with either my X-Acto knife or a scissor, and I just, you know, fix it up a little bit. All right, so then you take your scissor and you cut this piece off. Make sure you don't cut your actual die cut. You just want to cut the little piece of paper off. And same with the other side. What I do is I kind of pick it up and cut it. Whichever way you find to be the most easiest way, you do it. I mean, everything is to your preference on how you go about doing things. And I may have just cut a little bit of my piece, and I did. So let's just fix that. Nobody is ever going to know except everybody who's watching this video right now. Okay. Come on. Okay. So now she's put together. And as you can see, there's the piece of paper. And this is always going to be your back for right now. And this would be the front. And you can't even notice that there's a line there. And we don't have any paper on there yet. Okay, so this part is done. Now let's do the other side. But we have to turn her over because we want that piece of paper to be on the back. Okay, so now we're going to take another piece. I always have extra strips like this around because sometimes I cut too many, but they're just 1/4 of an inch by nothing. And see, I even get confused. I'm going to do this way. Yeah. So I'm going to put that here. I hope I'm doing this right. Yes. And then butt this one. If you could see the top of my head. No. Butt that. Press it securely. And you see how it's hanging off the sides? Looks like this piece right here. That we're going to cut away. And then we cut the other side. I have no idea what you could see and what you can't see. Like you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so now she's put together. You can see the little line. But like I said, when it's done, you're not even going to notice it, and I did it wrong. Put it on the wrong side. See, that's what happens when you're not. Let's see. Since it's removable tape, hopefully. Come on. Sorry, guys. Don't know how to pause, don't know how to do anything on a video, so bear with me. This side's going to be a mess. So this, I'm going to turn it over like this. Okay. Let's get another piece. Put the glue on it. The tape. That. Now I'm just speeding up a little bit, so give me just 1 second. Let me get that done. And it's going to be a mess on this side. But so be it. This is just to show you. I'll cut that off. And then cut this one. Okay, so now on both sides we have that little piece of paper, and they're correct. This one goes this way, and this one goes that way. All right, so now to put it together, what I normally do is I make sure I have the picture of my item in front of me. I really don't need the picture of the item in front of me because I already have the other one. So, let's see. All right, so here we go. Let me grab all my pieces that go with this one. Get rid of all this extras, black pieces, because I don't want them to get involved with what I'm doing. For some reason, I always find it easier to start from the top and work my way back down. I do use, well, you know what? I had a few people that asked me what kind of paper I use. So I always use the Michaels paper, the Recollections, the 12 by 12. Michaels has a 25 pack, and it is, I think it's $5.99, but if you go in there and you buy it, you get it with your 40% off discount. It comes out to like nothing. All right, so that's that paper. Then I use open cardstock wherever I could find it. This dot I thought was a beautiful, it was so cute. It's, I don't know if you could tell on this that it's a bright pink polka dot. And it is, and it says it's dark pink, small dots. And it's core dimensions, and that's what it is. Never used it before. I just went to Joann's and they had buy 10 for $2, so I did a lot. This one happens to be, I know, Recollections. I'm not sure what color it is, but this is what I used for the face. And I don't know if you could tell in the, if I could focus, that it's got texture. I don't know if you could see that, because I can't. But it's all textured. Every single piece of paper that I use, textured. Except the white and the black. White and the black I use flat. I don't know why, I just do. Okay, so let's see. What I'm going to try to do is put all my pieces together while we are working, but I think I now have mixed them up a little bit. All right, so let's go one step at a time. So this would be the dress, and everything should fit. So you have to play with them a little bit to make sure that they go down straight. This is the shoe. This is the other part of the shoe. The other shoe. Here's the bow. And as you can see, as I'm putting the pieces on, she's starting to form. And this piece goes here. And hand. This hand goes there. The eyeball. I already did this once, so I know that what pieces are what. It's just trying to figure out where they go and how they go down. These are the little pieces that go in here. If you use textured paper, you'd know which side goes which. So that's why it's easier to use the textured paper than a print and cut. I know this goes over here. Whoops. Okay, got stuck. This goes here. I think this one goes on that one. This one goes on that one. And now my other hand, oh, this goes here. This goes here. When you're using white paper or any color paper, and if you have a colored nail polish, you want to try not to try to pick up the pieces if you have a difficult time with your fingers, because otherwise you get that all over yourself, all over your paper. And then, okay, so I got all my pieces right. Now, on my mat, I still have her face and her lips. And one of my lips I cut off, so we'll play with that in a minute. So let's go. Where's the center? Oops, I'm losing pieces. They're going off my table. Let's see. I'll find it in a minute. Maybe I dropped it on the floor. Maybe. Oh, but that's another piece that I dropped on the floor. Excuse me. This goes. Heck. That's that. Okay, I got this one. Did it slide under? Alright, we'll find it in a minute. Maybe it slipped under somewhere. Whoops. Alright. Let's start gluing. Let me get my tweezers. I always use tweezers with my piece. And like I said, I use, I don't know if I said it already, but I'm going to say it again. Tombow glue. I always leave it upside down because otherwise it clogs. So, and it's very sticky. And sometimes you'll wind up with like a glue lump on the top. So you just have to wipe it off. And you don't need much. When I say a little, I mean a little. Because otherwise it's a waste, because it's going to wind up seeping out the sides. And I just generously but little bit put it on here. It dries pretty fast. I don't know if you could see all the glue that I put on there, but it's very little. It looks like a lot more than it is, but you'll see when you put it on. And then you just start putting your pieces together. And when you put them together, just make sure that you give yourself that line right here going around like a coloring book picture. You don't want to put your pieces too close to the edge. So here's my other bow. And what I'm going to do is, while I put these pieces together, I always have a separate piece of paper off to the side. If I put too much glue, I tap it on the paper just to pull off a little bit of the glue because I don't want it seeping out the side. And I place it. And then you can press it down. You want to make sure that you get into your little crevices too. Let me move you in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. My thing won't go in closer. Is that better? Oh, wow, that's 100% better. So, like I said, you want to make sure that you have your lines around the side. And when you put it down, you press it. This glue is phenomenal. When I tell you phenomenal, I mean phenomenal. Is this it? No, that's not it. I don't know what happened to that piece. It's crazy. Oh, found it. Pieces fly all over the place. I was going to put you on pause for a minute while I actually found it. And before I put each piece down, I make sure that it's going into the right place. And then I could remember after I put the glue on it that that's where it goes. So here's the glue again. And I don't want to bore you with putting all the pieces on here. So why don't I pause it, and I'll be back in a few minutes after I finish. Just as I just did, I put a little too much glue around this part. So I have a pokey. It's like a needle, but it actually is a jewelry piercer. Yeah, you find little things all over the place that you want to use. And what I do is, if I find that I've seeped out a little bit, I take this and I go around the edge to pull it off, and then I just wipe it. The other night I did that, and I thought I had this in my hands, but I actually had my X-Acto knife, and I sliced my finger. So, just mishap, so be careful. So let me put you on pause, and I'll be back in a minute after I finish this side. And I will do the other side. So then this way we could put it together, and I'll show you how I did that. All right. Be right back.